Hi, Rachel. I'm gonna answering your questions again. So here it is. The first question you're asking me about is a bit about my background and what made me passionate about first teaching the intercultural lit course. Um, when I first started teaching high school, I was teaching Spanish for a while, and then within those first 5 years, I became very involved with student government. We got involved, and I got involved with different activities at the school, where I created a club on our campus along with some other of the adults called the the Student Intercultural Advisory Committee. SIAC is what it was called. And we created this club mainly because of the what we were looking for was to try to create a space for students to have conversations about race, culture, ethnicity, issues of diversity, and these were topics and issues that dealt mainly with the um, just giving students the opportunity to discuss things because we would have tensions in our school, sometimes especially during events like Cinco de Mayo or Black History Month, especially between African American and Latino students. There would always be these tensions that existed, or students sometimes feeling that teachers were favoring certain races over others. And so we knew that these tensions existed. So what we really wanted to do is we wanted to create an opportunity for students to learn about these issues, and not only that, but then to become advocates for it. So with that, we our school was actually very in favor of our club doing these kinds of events and things and activities, where they actually funded us to go to different trainings. One through the Anti-Defamation League, another one through a consultant by the name of Erica Hagen. And the students and the staff, the teachers, and it was me and three other teachers that were involved, would get trained. We would actually take students on field trips and get trained on intercultural dialogue, how to have these conversations. And it was teaching students to be the facilitators of those conversations, not just the teachers. One of the great accomplishments that came out of that was where, in one particular year, our club was able to do a professional development for the staff. So that meant that the students were actually conducting workshops for the staff on how to build relationships in their classroom, how to be more culturally responsive, how to understand stereotypes. And I think it was one of the most powerful things we could have done is to get students to be the ones advocating to the teachers and teaching them a few things. So from that idea, I started playing with the idea of maybe incorporating this kind of process into the curriculum a little bit more. So as I was transitioning from being a Spanish teacher, moving into the English department, which is where my credential was at, I decided to write up and investigate how to create a course. I created a course. I got a course outline. I filled it all out and I submitted it, and um, it was an opportunity to bring in these conversations, these topics, in a literature course. So I designed it as a literature course, and I introduced it first as multicultural literature. When I submitted it to the when to our administrators here on campus, they absolutely loved the idea. Then when I introduced it to the school board, they absolutely loved the idea. I didn't find any resistance at all whatsoever. And then when eventually I sent it up to Sacramento for approval, they said, yes, go for it. Congratulations, here's your class. And so from that point on, from now to the next 18 years, we've been offering this course. Of course, it's expanded now, so I'm not the only teacher teaching it, but it is a course that really deals with the topics of race and immigration and ethnicity, issues related to diversity. We look at sexuality and gender as also issues, and in general, trying to create an environment where students can feel safe to talk about these issues. And so, um, going back a little bit to the question of my passion, um, passion came from me is very personal because it was also something that I started when I was a student in college, where I was actually getting involved with different clubs where we were going out and reaching out and helping kids, especially Latino kids, getting into college and so on. But as I was growing as a student, I was realizing that there was a lot of students that were dealing with not just issues of access to college, but a lot of other reasons as to why many young people today don't go to college, or didn't, or at least when I was younger, students weren't going to college for maybe the wrong reasons, maybe because teachers weren't talking to them about how they could have an opportunity to go somewhere to do things. And I realized that not only could I play a role in motivating students in that, but I also thought that it would be a great idea to get students to talk about the world that we live in, to get to students to talk about the issues that are really deal with who we are as Americans, the cultural diversity and how we get along. And so then I've been teaching this course for a while now. It's somewhere, I think, in its 10th year. Multicultural literature became intercultural literature. I made that switch because the term multiculturalism was carrying a lot of negative connotation, especially in political circles. And not only that, but as a grad student at LMU, at Loyola Marymount University, I was introduced to this idea of interculturalism, the idea of the process of exchange of ideas between people of different cultural groups, working things out so that we can not only understand our differences, but to also realize our similarities through our own humanity. And so then from that point on, I've always been very passionate about this course. It's given me a great opportunity um, to meet students and talk to students about issues related to cultural diversity, and it's been for the last 18 years. And boy, have things changed. Things have really evolved. The topics have evolved. When I first started teaching this course, I was teaching about the "don't ask, don't tell" policy in the military for gay individuals. Now we have reached a point where it's now okay to marry, and to have seen these changes while I'm teaching this course, and to kind of experience students through that process has been really extra special for me. Um, so you ask why I specifically started this class here at Culver City High School, and mainly that is because well, I'm actually going to stop this just because I think I'm going to try to break these up into segments in case they don't send.